In 24 hours, this massive asteroid is set to collide with Mars, which wouldn't be a problem if I wasn't stuck on this rocket ship with no fuel. As I touched down on Mars, I realized I couldn't breathe, but thankfully this structure I saw seemed to have some signs of life, so I took my chances and headed over to it. When I got there, I finally stopped taking damage because a villager had placed some blocks that would allow us both to breathe. But hold up. How did we even get here? Yo, what's up, Poland?
I heard you didn't want to join my army.
No, kill me, don't.
Okay, fine, stop moving. I could arrange a favor for you. Drop all your stuff right now.
I don't even. Oh, okay.
3. I don't want you on my planet. Follow me, bro. Follow. You see this rocket ship?
Bro, what is the rocket ship even for?
Get in there.
Bro, come on, you don't want to do this.
It doesn't matter. Get in. You have no spacesuit. The second you land, you're dead. See you later.
You are so gonna regret this. We need to figure out how we're gonna get off Mars and also how we're gonna make sure that Poland can never mess with us again. Thankfully, when Poland had his back turned, I was able to pick up a sapling from a decaying tree, which would allow us to get wood, a resource that does not generate on Mars. I realized I couldn't place my sapling on any close blocks, but thankfully the villager let me take some of its dirt and I was able to plant the sapling. I also stopped to trade with the villager, as the bread I could get from trading was a lot more nutritious than the potatoes. More than halfway into the first hour, I was finally able to take my first bites of food. And for the rest of the hour, I AFK'd my tree and farmed my potatoes. And finally, after more than 45 minutes of waiting, my tree grew. So I mined it down and replanted the sapling. At the start of the second hour, I made some stone tools with the wood I got and went to go mine some iron. The only problem is I had to return to the shelter every 10 seconds because I couldn't breathe. Later, we're gonna fix this by crafting a helmet that will allow us to. I then got some iron and smelted it up. And using my new tools, I mined under my base so that I could breathe while mining. I mined my tree and planted the 2 saplings that I got. With 22 hours to escape, I decided to check out this building I saw earlier. There was a weird villager in it, and I didn't exactly know what to do with his trades. So I stole his bed and then I started mining under his house. I was trying to find gold, one of the ingredients for the protective helmet, which would allow me to breathe. If we had any chance of escaping within 24 hours, we would need this to survive. I was really unlucky and somehow found 3 diamonds before any gold. I gave up and took my frustration out on the villager. It's okay though, because I stripped his house of the blocks that allowed us to breathe, so he would have died anyway. I then headed back to the original structure and spent the final moments in the hour digging out an area for my new base. I expanded my base and wanted to decorate. In order to get some decorations, I went back to the home of the villager which I stole from and stole some more. Also, I figured out that if I wore iron armor, the damage I took when outside was heavily reduced, but this also destroyed the armor really fast. I need to get the protective helmet if I'm gonna find a long-term solution. In the beginning of hour 5, I made my way back to the base and I started placing the decorations that I had just gathered. I was then digging in the side of my base and surprisingly ran into some gold. At first, it only looked like there were 2 pieces, but I dug to the side and found 2 more. I now needed only 2 more material types to craft the protective helmet. I suited up in full iron armor to reduce some of the damage and set out to discover some other structures and hopefully find the 2 other materials I needed for the helmet. I saw this weird structure poking out of the ground and decided to investigate. When I got there, I mined this block on top and saw that it was something called a transport duct. I quickly placed the block back, and when I right-clicked it, I was teleported into a room. This room had a chest in it, but it had nothing important, so I moved on. I then found this other structure that seemed kind of useless, but man, I was wrong. You'll have to wait till later in the video to see why. I then found another one of those structures that poked out of the ground, except this one had a bunch of pillager-looking things that tried to shoot me. They seemed to have an item that had a villager stored in it. I then found a third structure that poked out of the ground, and when I went inside, I checked the chest, and this chest seemed to have wool in it. This was perfect because we now only needed 1 more material to craft the helmet. So I headed home and passed by this villager and stole all of his stuff. I then headed home and came extremely close to dying. After that scary mess, on hour 6, I discovered that I could make glass by smelting this common block. This now meant that I had all the materials to craft the protective helmet. With my new helmet, I now headed outside because I could breathe. This is the point where I discovered that I would need the full set of armor in order to breathe. Thankfully, I had enough gold for the armor set, but I didn't have nearly enough wool, so I geared up to go exploring. During hour 7, I went out to find the remaining wool, and pretty much searched for the whole hour. I put on the armor, stepped outside, and hoped for the best. Now that we completed one of our goals, I had to start finding a way to craft firework rockets, which are the fuel that will get us off Mars. I decided my best bet would be villager trading, because the Mars mod installed on the server introduces a bunch of new villager professions. But a villager breeder and trading hall take a lot of resources, so I started to build a tree farm. I went to get the materials to start building my base, which I wanted to look like one of those Mars bubble colonies you see in the movies. But I realized that I had no sealed glass. Thankfully, I could craft it using regular glass and iron, but we would need a lot of red rock to craft the regular glass. I then started construction on my storage area. After building the first part of my base, I went exploring for the whole next hour. I don't even know why I went back to this structure, but I decided to explore, and I'm very glad I did. This structure had boxes that when broken gave some very interesting loot, and I began to wonder what else I could get. So I traveled to another one of these structures and broke all the boxes. The green token that came out of the first box will be super useful for villager trading later, but you'll have to wait to see exactly why. I broke all the boxes and got some more green tokens, as well as some blaze rods. And I also realized that most of the other structures also had boxes. This means that the whole time I was looking for other loot, I could have gotten some extra goodies by just mining the boxes. Regardless, I was still happy that I figured this out eventually. So I headed home, and for the rest of the hour, I made this cool little mine thing using some transport ducts that I had collected. Hour 11, I prepared to extend my base by getting more glass. I needed some more wood to smelt up all this rock. I placed a bunch of furnaces in my little mine area and smelted up all the materials I would need for the largest part of my base, the villager breeder. I spent the whole next hour building my villager breeder as well as my villager trading hall. I then grabbed the item I found earlier that contained a villager, and I was able to get 2 villagers into the breeder. I then built the trading hall and AFK'd and let the villagers breed. With 9 hours remaining until the meteor strike, I put villagers in my trading hall and found that this workstation allows villagers to trade for gunpowder. We now had access to an infinite supply of one of the materials we would need to get off at this place. I stocked up on emeralds and then traded with this armor for diamond armor. This would be important for killing Poland later. Now that I had a source of gunpowder, we only need paper in order to craft the firework rockets that we needed to get off Mars. But I didn't want to try to find paper just yet because I would need to solve the other problem, that Poland would just come back and kill me. I decided that in order to scare Poland, I should get a fully powered beacon. I should be able to do massive amounts of damage. In order to get a fully powered beacon, not only do we have to kill the wither, but we also have to collect over 1,400 iron in order to craft 164 iron blocks. But we didn't have that much time left, so I decided to make an easy iron farm designed by Logical Geek Boy that is supposed to produce 450 iron per hour. My plan was to leave the farm running for 2 hours and then mine the rest of the iron manually. Now I had to gather all the materials I would need for the iron farm. At the end of the hour, I had all the materials I would need to build the iron farm. But we only had 7 hours until the asteroid hit. I then built the iron farm. Using the items that could store mobs, I transported 6 villagers from my breeder to my farm. But here's the problem. This iron farm uses a zombie or pillager to scare the villagers into spawning an iron golem. But on Mars, no mobs spawn. This means we need to find a way to scare the villagers. I decided to take my chances and hope that the pillager things we saw earlier had the capacity to scare the villagers. They couldn't go inside my little storage item, but they also couldn't shoot me for some reason. So I opted to just walk them back to my base. I brought them back and then put one of them inside of my farm. And thankfully, it was working. The villagers were getting scared. For the next 2 hours, I mined some iron. I then checked my iron farm and thankfully the rates were correct. We now had everything we would need for a full beacon, besides the nether star, which we would worry about later. With only 4 hours left, we need to focus on getting paper, the last ingredient that we need to get off Mars. I decided to search new structures that I hadn't discovered yet. I found this new super rare structure that had a bunch of villagers in it, and when I woke this guy up from his nap, I figured out that he traded paper. So I stole his workstation and then I traded a bunch of paper. We now had every material we would need to get off Mars. So I crafted the firework rockets, and on the way back to the rocket ship that originally trapped me here, I looked at my old base. I then found the rocket, hopped inside, and then put my fuel in. I then took off for Earth, and as I was climbing, I could see everything I had built down on the surface. Although it had only been 24 hours, I made a huge impact on this planet. When I finally had made it back to Earth, I touched down, and I put on the diamond armor that I got on Mars. Because we weren't done. We needed to get a nether star to finish our last goal, which is to get a beacon and kill Poland. So I entered the nether to kill wither skeletons, and a fortress was right next to me when I exited the portal. I finally got the last skull and headed out. Funnily enough, the best place to kill the wither is in the end, so I had to head to the stronghold. I then set up my wither trap. When I spawned it in, it was trapped under the bedrock, and I killed it with relative ease. I then headed back into the overworld to prepare for my fight with Poland.
Wait a second. Why is there a beacon in my kingdom? What?
Hello,
Wait,
Poland.
Peters, I thought you're dead. I sent you to Mars. You should be dead. What?
I made it out alive.
Wait, but that's impossible. You're supposed to suffocate on Mars. Wait.
You gotta make sure you finish the job next time. I'm coming for you.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This is damage. Wait, you have strength on this thing, don't you? Come here, come here, come here. Oh, that is damage.
Come here, Poland.
I did not know sending people to Mars made them good at PvP, bro.
Come here.
Come here, bro. Look at this bozo. Hey, yo.
Come here.
Hey, yo. Oh my god, that is damage. What is going on? No. Oh, wait. No.
Come here, Poland. Come
Get away,
here.
Oh, no.
Yes, let's go.
I'm banned.
That's what you get.
Nah, my buddies are gonna kill you.